After numerous attempts to break into our garage and one successful, I had set up numerous yard alarms and cameras, so we were prepared for the next break-in. Uh, as soon as they pulled in, we were on the phone to 911 seeking police to respond.
What's your nearest cross street? Uh, Prospect, between Prospect and Kalamazoo. So how many people are in that alley? I don't know. There's multiple people. They're back there. I got alarms going off, and there's two vehicles I see. Okay. Are they trying to get into your garage? They're in the garage area. They're in the yard area. That's why I got alarms going off. Okay. Can you tell what they look like? They've got hoodies on. There's multiple vehicles and multiple people. Anybody with weapons? I couldn't tell weapons. Okay. What's your name? Yes. Alright. I'm gonna knock out that way, okay? What type of vehicles are out there? I haven't got to that yet, but they're there right now. I'm watching them in the backyard. Okay. Alright, I will have officers come out that way, okay? You call back if they try to make entry. Thank you.
Very frustrating. 911 is, on a number of occasions when we've called for help, response has been very questionable on a shooting and on actually on two different shootings. When I called in, very questionable. We'll hit on 911 at a later time. There's a lot to say about them. Anyways, they're in the back alleyway. We can see them on the cameras. They're getting ready to climb up on the fence and adjust the cameras so you can't see them in the back alley. We know they're there. We've already called 911. Personally, I want to go outside and confront them, but Sherry's concerned and scared, so I'm trying to do the right thing and just sit back and wait on the police to do their thing. Now you get more or less a front view pic of how it transpires, what actually goes down. There's two different camera videos for my camera system. Unfortunately, the better pictures that would have been off of the camera that's off the right front corner of the garage that aimed into the neighbor's yard and out on the Prospect, that would have showed two different things, where the officer, as they drove by, shone their light down their searchlight down the alleyway right on the bad guy's car. And it would have also showed when I had ran out to try to confront the bad guys, and the LPD had stopped me and demanded I go back to the house, while they just sat there and watched them drive down the alleyway. Very, very frustrating. I got a copy of the police report, and I got a copy of my FOIA request. The police report was written by Officer Stacy Brow. Case number 18519135549. In it, she writes that it's still a valid case, and that the narrative goes like this. On 12/19/2018 at approximately 3:04 hours, that would be my clock did not fall back, so I'm actually an hour ahead. It's actually 3 o'clock and not 4 o'clock as it says. I responded to in regards to a possible B&E. The RP advisor were unknown subjects in her backyard attempting to break into her garage. Arrival on scene. Once I came into the area, I observed an unknown male running from the area of blank. I immediately attempted contact with this subject. I asked him for his name and identification as I approached him. The subject advised he didn't have an ID and started to step away from me. Through my training and experience, the subject's actions made me believe he was going to run. I told him to put his hands behind his back and attempted to detain him. I then attempted to grab a hold of his arm, but the subject took off running westbound. I then yelled, "Please stop." The subject continued running with the backpack in his hands. While running after the subject threw the backpack over the fence and left it. Officer Schaefer took possession of the Tech-9 and tagged it into evidence. Officer's actions. I assisted MSP K9 with the track. Track ended at Detroit and Michigan Avenue. Officers checked the security at blank, and it checked secured. The garage was not broken into. I have a very difficult garage to break into. The police couldn't even get in it with battering ram. Almost a dozen criminals tried to get into it and failed. I'm pretty good when it comes to securing stuff. Contact reporting person, Sherry. I made contact with Sherry at address and obtained a statement from her in regards to this incident. She advised they have marijuana in the garage, and this is not the first time people have attempted to break in. Ward showed me video of the accused and advised they would run a copy of it. I never offered that, but I did offer it later on to detectives who unfortunately destroyed it. She observed two vehicles. One vehicle was red in color and the other one was possible white. If you notice, this is black and white. It's a color camera system, but right now at night it shows up black and white. Nobody can tell if it's red, white, blue, green, and I didn't hear Sherry at any time tell anybody the color of a vehicle. She stated her video was in black and white. The two accused had their hoods over their faces. I was the one that had the video on my phone, and I was the one that was showing it to everybody. I had asked a number of the officers why they hadn't blocked the alleyway and caught the bad guys. And they advised me that they had never been informed by 911 that the subjects were in the alleyway. My concern is all the video I got from my FOIA request actually begins after they confront the lookout, which isn't until another 6 minutes, 5 minutes. So the thing is the police are actually here now, and they don't go by the alley until around the 16-minute mark, and then they hit it with their light, and then they turn on the Foster, confront a guy on the sidewalk that is the lookout, and they go chasing after him and totally forget about the alleyway, the vehicles in it, and not a good plan. Officer Schaefer tagged the evidence in the LPD HQ evidence room. One black Tech-9 with a magazine serial number blanked out. Model Tech DC-9 magazine had 22 rounds. Rounds were FMJ 9mm. One round was in chamber sideways, and one black backpack. The accused is unknown at this time. Accused is an unknown Hispanic male, black hair with a scruffy beard, wearing jeans and dark long sleeve. Other unknown accused took off in red and white vehicles. Once again, red and white vehicles. Where they got that from is beyond me. And after I got the body cams from the officers, the first thing I noticed was not a bad picture of the lookout that had the gun. And once again, they recovered the backpack and the gun that they tested for fingerprints or DNA. Did they take his picture and did they try to circulate it to find out who this individual was? Don't we want to get criminals with guns off the streets of Lansing? I would think so. This guy was part of a large crew that had been going around breaking into a large number of of properties up and down Michigan Avenue, all the businesses. These are some of the same individuals that were doing that. And I gave them a golden opportunity. I laid out the criminals right there in the alleyway for them to take down, and they just let them go. The question is why did they do that? So the officers have been there for 2 minutes already, 3 minutes, and pretty soon we're going to see the lookout. He's going to show up. Right now they've unloaded a bunch of tools and put them on the side of the garage. They're trying to get into the same location that they had succeeded in breaking into a month earlier. Unfortunately for them, when they got into that one room, they discovered that all of my doors had deadbolts on them that were keyed on both sides and had security lock bars that I had created myself, and made it almost impossible to break through. Most criminals are dumb, and these guys were dumb, like most criminals. But that's a good thing for everybody. And the other thing is my FOIA request. It had to do with getting the, I requested body cam, communications between the officers that responded, also communications between 911 and officers that responded. My FOIA request was kind of like not what I asked for. I needed to know when the 911 calls were made, what the 911 operator told the police officers and what the police officers told the 911 operators. That's the only way we're going to get to the truth, but instead they chose to cover it up. These guys are getting all their tools out. They brought some stuff to get into my garage. They're a little bit more prepared. Unfortunately, they don't realize that I've got yard alarms stashed all over the place that they can't see, that are they don't even realize that we know that they're there. Sherry was concerned that the yard alarms wouldn't be good enough, but I showed her one time they were going off and she couldn't see why they were going off, but I pointed out the squirrel. So if a squirrel would set them off, I'm sure a person would too. Shortly here, we're going to see a guy coming down the street between the two houses. You see him right there? He just popped out. He's the lookout. He's going to stand there for a few minutes. He's kind of checking everything out, looking over to what the crew's doing. He sees the vehicle. He's taking off to the right to see what's going on. Wants a little bit better perspective. I'm sure he's standing on the corners to try to see as many different directions as he can to see if any police approach him. Now the guy in the alleyway, he's kind of looking, hey, where did my guy go? What's going on? He's kind of staring, kind of making sure that there's nothing going on because he's got concerns. We're just sitting there watching the cameras, and those are set up right across from our bedroom, and I can see pretty much everything that's going on. So there's not much we don't see. We've seen cops parked at the corner of Francis and in Kalamazoo, driving up and down Prospect and Francis. We're a little concerned about what the hell they're doing and why they haven't confronted the bad guys yet. So you see one going down Prospect, and we know that he's going to go right by the alleyway. So I look at Sherry, and I'm looking at the cameras and stuff, and I've already looked out the front door, checking everything out, and I told her time to make another 911 call, and let's find out what's going on, why the police are are not doing what their job is. They've had 7 minutes there already.
911, what is the location of your emergency? I've already called. You can see these people out here getting tools out of their trunk to tear my garage open. Please get an officer here, please. Yep, I got 2 officers on their way. Has anything changed since you last called? No, there's multiple vehicles in the alley right now. I can see them back there. They're getting tools out right now to bust my stuff open. Please. Why do you think they're getting ready to bust your garage open? I can see them. Are they actually there? Tell the cops to go up the alley and he's got them. To go up the alley and he's got them. Please, tell him to go to the alley. Okay, ma'am. They're out there and they're actually trying to make contact right now with them, okay? Did they catch them? I don't know. I'll have the officer make contact with you, okay, when he's all done investigating out there, okay? No, if he goes up the alley, they're there. Please don't let these people get away. Ma'am. What? The officers are out there. They're going to make contact. Are you able to give me descriptions of anybody? No. Okay. The officers are out there making contact. I'll have them make contact with you when they're done, okay? Thank you. All right.
They're just about ready to go past the alley, and we want to make sure that they get the bad guys. I know that the bad guys, their reaction when it first happens is, oh my God, we're caught. And they start loading their stuff up as quickly as they can. And the bad guy, as you see, he's walking the other way now, trying to get away from the cops. They're trying to get away in the alleyway. They're loading their vehicle back up again. And I'm telling Sherry, call the cops again. Call 911. So I ran out the front door, and around the corner on the Prospect, and as soon as I got there, an officer pulled up behind me in an SUV demanding that I stop, wanted to know who I was. I told him I'm the one that called you guys. They're going up the alley. I can see their headlights right now. I can stop them. I can confront them. Let's go get them. And the cop told me to go back to my house, which I did. And they just let them drive away. Later on, that video that depicted that is what the detectives decided was very important, that they needed to record at the state police post, and it was the information that they erased off of my hard drive. How they did it, I don't know. I still have the hard drives. Love to have somebody look at them and tell me what they could do to fix, to get the information back. Very, very important information. I was very frustrated with both 911. As I said, once again, we got to know, did the 911 operators fail in telling them the alley, or did the officers purposely allow them to get away? And if they did that, it might have been because they had to return property that belonged to me, and that probably upset them a little bit. I know it upset them. So I'm not afraid of too much. I'm not afraid of any criminals. Weapons don't mean shit to me. Anybody that carries a weapon is usually a coward, and I've taken weapons away from people in the past. They don't intimidate me in the least. And number of people doesn't intimidate me either. Not that I'm a tough guy or anything. It's just that I stand my ground against anything and everything.